Good morning. It's day 4 of the Film Yourself a Day, every day for a 30-day challenge. So today we're going to talk about New Jersey. Can you see that? New Jersey. So I grew up in Oregon and always heard about the East Coast vibe and how it was much more rushed and people, were not friendly. But I always wanted to live in Jersey, not Jersey, but the East Coast specifically, to see exactly what it was like. More New York is what I wanted. So in 2001, I met a couple of really good friends. We've been friends since then, Jenn and Sam. And we did some road trips together and became really good friends. Jenn was from the East Coast. She was from upstate New York. And she wanted to move back to do the things she loved to do. So in 2003, we made the decision to move to the East Coast together. So we went through a 6 months process of getting rid of stuff and preparing for our journey across the country. And in late October of 2003, we packed up her car and my truck and hit the road and drove across country. We stopped in Chicago and saw my family there. And then we hit to New Jersey, where we stayed for 2 weeks with another friend of mine that I had met online. I know it's so weird to say that you've met somebody online and actually met them in person. It's not as scary as it can be, but you still have to be cautious. Anyway, Jenn ended up getting a job. I was still looking for a job. We found a place to live and we moved to a small apartment in Jersey City, New Jersey, a couple blocks from Journal Square. It was on Chestnut Street. It was the second floor of a house that had been renovated into 3 apartments. It was probably 550 or 600 square feet total. We had a closet in the hallway that was accessible to everybody. And then I had the front room, which was supposed to be the living room, but it had a closet in it, so turned that into my room. I had Murphy and Bandit, and Jenn took the back bedroom, and then in between us was the kitchen and the bathroom. And she and I lived in that place together for about 2 years. There was a lot of issues. The people who owned the place were really nice and were good to us, but the renovations were illegal, and so we had issues with the electricity. If somebody upstairs was vacuuming and somebody downstairs was blow drying their hair, the power went out in the entire building. So we ended up I found a place a block and a half away from us. It was in an old building, but right next to the train tracks, which wasn't too bad. The building was built in like 1880s. The owner lived not too far away, and we ended up moving in there, and it was over 1,000 square feet. Jenn took over the sunroom in the front because she wanted that for her bedroom, so she had that. And then we had the living room, and you went down the hallway, and there was one bedroom on the left that I used. It was small, so we used that as my closet area. And then across was my bedroom, and then there was another bedroom and a bathroom, decent sized, and then we had a formal dining room and the kitchen. So a lot more space, and it only cost us an extra $50 a month. Then we ended up getting a third roommate who lived with us for a couple of years, Fabio. He was great. We met him through work. Jersey was a great experience. I definitely enjoyed. It was tough, but I still enjoyed it. I ended up getting a job at the movie theater, and worked my way from being a ticket seller to working in the projection booth and being a shift supervisor. And then a couple months later, I became a manager, and I managed for 4.5 years, 5 years. I worked at the movie theater before I got basically headhunted from a company in Boston who needed security in New York. And I worked for Fidelity Investments for almost a year doing security work there. Jen and I went and saw a lot of shows. Like, we were always going downtown doing the lotteries or getting cheap tickets, rush tickets at the last minute. Sometimes we got to sit next to each other. Most times we did. Sometimes we didn't. I was really lucky at the rent lotteries. I always won tickets, so we got to see that many times. We saw The Ghost of Mrs. Muir with Angela Lansbury on opening night. That was awesome. Saw many of our favorite actors and doing different things. We met a lot of really cool people, lots of arty people. You know, we like artsy people, and I remember eating Ethiopian food, and that was quite the experience, and I loved that. And we had soul food. We went to speakeasies. We went to the biggest bookstore on the East Coast. We traveled up and down the East Coast a bit. Went to DC for the 4th of July one year. That was quite the experience. And, you know, I just met a lot of amazing people, had some great experiences. We ended up leaving after Jen's dad passed away, and she needed to go home and take care of her mom. And I wasn't secure enough in myself to think that I could survive in New York by myself. So I moved back to the West Coast as well, and lived with some friends for a while before I ended up going to school and ending up here in LA. But yeah, that's New Jersey. It was not as bad. It was very crowded, but there was a lot of really good experiences, and I can't wait to go back and visit again.